Students from Walter Johnson, George Marshall, and Richard Montgomery meet today on It's Academic. Hello, everybody. I'm Hillary Howard. Welcome to It's Academic, the world's longest-running TV quiz show produced by Altman Productions in association with David M. Rubenstein Productions.
Support for It's Academic has been provided by the following. MITRE, a not-for-profit research and development company working in the public interest.
What happens when the right people connect? Diversity challenges convention. Mentors inspire greatness. And passions drive innovation. From health to transportation and national security, cyber and AI, to space and back, MITRE connects the power of government, academia, and industry to meet our nation's challenges. Together, MITRE connects.
We are so glad that you're with us today as we jump into this fast start round where questions are worth 10 points up or down. First team to buzz in gets to answer, and the contestants don't see what you do on your screens at home. Let's do this. First question. All answers in this opening round must begin with the letter J. That is J as in just. This super villain is Batman's archenemy, Montgomery.
The Joker.
Yeah. This spear is thrown in Olympic competitions, Montgomery.
Javelin.
Javelin's right. This is a vein in the neck. Yes,
Jugular.
Johnson. Jugular's correct. This is the capital of Alaska. Johnson.
Juneau.
Juneau, yeah. This medieval so-called fool entertained at courts, Marshall.
Jester.
Jester it is. This is the largest city in South Africa. Yes, Johnson.
Johannesburg.
Johannesburg is right. This is a New York NFL team. Yes, Johnson.
Jets.
Jets is right. Louis Armstrong is associated with this type of Marshall. Jazz is correct. This large spotted wild feline is native to South Montgomery.
Jaguar.
Jaguar, yes. This is a baby kangaroo. Marshall.
Joey.
Joey is right. Woo, that was quick. I love it. That's the end of the fast start. Let's take a look at the scores. Walter Johnson, 140. George Marshall, 130. Richard Montgomery, 130 points. So this is another playoff round, which means each of these teams has already won their first round game. Let's meet them. We begin with Walter Johnson High School from Bethesda, Maryland. Hey, Lucas, tell us a little about yourself.
I'm a senior at WJ, and I like to play guitar.
And you told us about that last time, so please elaborate on why it is you love guitar.
I just like listening to rock music, metal music, and I thought it would be fun to learn how to play something along that style.
Good to see you again, Lucas. Hiya, Grace.
Hello.
What's going on with you?
So I'm always running around between stage and Science Olympiad, Quiz Bowl, and all those good things.
So I've always wondered when you have so many things that you're doing outside of classwork, how difficult it is to keep up with homework.
It's pretty manageable since a lot of my work is scheduling things, so this is just another thing to schedule.
Good to see you, Grace. Hello, Ren.
Hi, I'm Ren. I'm a 17-year-old junior, and I'm on our school's debate and Model UN teams.
So are you debating now? And if you are, what are you working on? What arguments?
Yes, we actually have a debate on Wednesday about student loan debt forgiveness.
We just met somebody from another show who was doing the same thing. Perhaps you'll be pitted against one another. All right, Johnson, here you go with your first question. By the way, questions are worth 20 points, nothing off for a wrong answer. A hug and a kiss. If you study this happy phrase, you'll find the hidden name of what African country whose capital is Kampala.
Uganda?
Yep, that's it. Put term. You can make beautiful music if you rearrange the letters here to name what bugle-like instrument that's a member of the brass family.
Trumpet.
Yeah. When eating blank shoots, remember the man who planted them. To complete this Chinese proverb, add what fast-growing plants that are the main food of giant pandas.
Bamboo.
Yeah. Silicon-6, boron-9, carbon-14. Which of these terms names the scientific dating process which establishes the age of fossil remains?
Carbon-14.
Carbon-14 is correct. He plodded on from blunder to blunder. This was Winston Churchill's opinion of General Henry Buller, who fought in what South African war against the Afrikaners?
4.
Boer War is right. Nicely done, Walter Johnson. 240 points. Now to the team from Falls Church, Virginia, George Marshall High School. Hey, Henry, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Thanks. So what have you been up to?
I run cross country and track for my high school.
So have you been busy?
Yes.
How often are you running races?
Usually about once a week.
Once a week. Oh, wow. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Henry. Good to have you. Hello,
Thank you.
Rohan.
Hi,
So tell us what you've been doing since the last time we saw you.
I'm a junior in high school, and I participate in Model United Nations and marching band.
And marching band. So the Model United Nations, I've asked you about this before. Have you been busy doing it?
Yeah, we've had to organize a lot of club meetings, and we're really starting to build the club up towards something that's successful. And so there's a lot of work to be done right now.
And you're working on that with Shrey, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So would you like to elaborate on that, Shrey?
Yeah, we actually have we're actually going to a conference in December. So we're trying to really ramp up our activity to increase that commitment. And yeah.
Okay, guys, here we go. First question. Oil from a nation. Study this phrase and see if you can find the hidden name of what Mideastern sultanate whose capital is Muscat.
Oman?
Oman is right. A Conan ad. Even Conan the Barbarian might be nervous if you rearrange the letters here to name what kind of huge South American snake that crushes its prey to death.
Anaconda?
Yeah. Blank is a good breakfast, but a bad supper. You can complete this comment by Francis Bacon by adding what quality that remained in Pandora's box after all the evils had escaped. Answer, guys? In 3, 2, 1.
Gluttony?
No, the answer is hope. It was burned. It is hidden. It is unwritten. Visitors to England cannot see the British Constitution for which of these reasons?
It's unwritten?
It is unwritten, yes. Typhoon of steel. This phrase is sometimes used to refer to the horrific World War II battle that took place in 1945 on what O-initialed Pacific Island near Japan.
Okinawa?
Okinawa is correct. Nicely done, George Marshall. 210 points. And now to Rockville's Richard Montgomery High School. Rachel, great to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thanks. What have you been up to?
I've been reading Hamlet.
Oh, you have been. And have you memorized any of the soliloquies yet?
Not yet, but I've been working on it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Good to see you, Rachel. Hello, Josh.
Hey.
What are you doing these days?
I've been watching a lot of movies.
Yeah, what?
Richard Linklater mostly. Big fan of Dazed and Confused and Before Sunrise.
And what is it about those movies that really speaks to you?
They're just really beautifully languid and kind of speak to something, I think, universal about humanity.
That's wonderful. Well, it's good to have you again, Josh. And finally, Michelle, hi. What should we know about you today?
I've been practicing my portrait art recently.
Oh, you have been? And who are you painting pictures of?
Oh, I just like doodling it when I'm in class, trying to draw portraits of classmates and stuff.
Do you give them away?
If they ask.
Do you ever hide them?
Not really, no.
That's good. Okay, guys, here are some questions. To teach addition, you know geography if you find here the hidden name of what African country whose capital is N'Djamena.
Chad.
Chad is it. Ale a ram. This phrase suggests sick sheep, but the letters can be rearranged to name what specific disease spread by the Anopheles mosquito.
Malaria.
Yeah. Daniel Webster struck me much like a blank engine in trousers. To complete this comment by English writer Sidney Smith, add what type of engine developed by James Watt?
Steam.
Steam is right. Its time has come. It's your decision. It's now or never. Which of these 3 sentences should not have an apostrophe in the word it's?
Yeah, the first one.
That's right. Its time has come. Free advice is worth what it costs. Nothing. This was the opinion of what 5-star Army general who received a lot of advice in Korea, but was fired by President Truman.
Douglas MacArthur.
You are right. Nice, Richard Montgomery. 230 points. And that does it for the mix and match round. Don't go away because Picture Perfect is next.
I'm David Rubenstein. From the Kennedy Center and the National Archives to the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, I've been pleased to support many important organizations and historic sites linked to American history, art, culture, education, and more. I believe giving back to our country isn't just an idea, it's an action, a patriotic action that involves all of us. And it begins with education and learning about our nation's past so that we, the people, can make a more perfect union for the future. We can do it together. Please read, learn, get involved, and make a difference.
All right, time for the Picture Perfect round. In this round, as you know, questions are worth 20 points up or down. Once again, the first team to buzz in gets to answer. Here we go. To study this kind of tropical plant life, you should visit what group of islands that the U.S. purchased from Denmark? Montgomery.
Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands is right. This Battle of Hastings scene was embroidered into what? Montgomery.
The Bayeux Tapestry.
Yes. For centuries, the fort of El Morro has guarded the harbor at what city? The capital, Marshall.
San Juan.
Yes. This painting shares what four-letter name with the haunting bugle call created by General Daniel Butterfield that's now played at Military Marshall?
Taps.
Yeah. Every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. These are the words of what 18th century French author and philosopher whose works,
Voltaire?
Johnson. Yes, you're right. This is what U.S. naval ship that was blown up in Havana Harbor.
Maine?
Yes, Johnson, it's Maine. Called the Baths of the Damned. This hot spring is in what North African country located between Tunisia, Libya, and Morocco? Yes,
Algeria.
Mark. Algeria is right. Nicely done. And that does it for the Picture Perfect round. Let's recap these scores. Walter Johnson, 280. George Marshall, 270. Richard Montgomery, 270 points. And now, of course, we get to meet the coaches and administrators who prepare these kids for It's Academic. And we begin with Walter Johnson from Bethesda. So, Grace, who's with you today?
Today we have with us Coach Meyer and then our principal, Miss Morgan.
So you have a lot of support.
Yes.
All right, great. And we're happy to have them here. Over to Marshall and Rohan.
Today with us we have our coach, Miss Campbell, our principal, Mr. Litz, one of our assistant principals, Miss Schoolcraft, and our alternate, Charlotte, as well.
Wow, a whole team there. That's wonderful. And Richard Montgomery, Josh, tell us who's with you.
Today we brought Mr. Mason, who's our history teacher and team coach.
All right. Well, now that we've met everybody, let's dive into the packet round. So in this packet round, as you know, Walter Johnson will get to answer questions first. George Marshall gets to choose which of these packets I'll answer questions from. Guys, what's it going to be? 1, 2, or 3?
Packet 3.
Packet 3. Questions are worth 20 points. Nothing off for a wrong answer. And of course, there's a 25-point bonus if you get them all right. Here's the first question. William Penn College is located not in Pennsylvania, but in what Midwestern state whose capital is Des Moines?
Iowa.
Yes. Periodic explosions of magnetic energy 80,000 miles above Earth result in the sudden brightening of what colorful polar phenomenon?
Northern Lights.
Yeah. Because there was a blossoming of art and learning in the 14th, 15th, and 16th centuries, this period is given what name, meaning rebirth?
Renaissance.
Yes. Here's your science question. Which of these refers to the lengthening of the wavelengths of light from an object moving away from us and is regarded as evidence the universe is expanding?
Celestial acceleration.
No, it's redshift. American colonists were outraged by what 1765 English Revenue Act that required all documents to bear a taxable mark?
Stamp Act.
Yes. You might want to be alone when you read Gabriel Garcia Marquez's novel titled 100 Years of what type of
Solitude.
Alone? Solitude. It's a beautiful book. Here's your math question. Evaluate this expression, giving your answer as a positive integer. And your answer?
111.
110, so close. One Shakespeare title identifies as Prince of Tyre, a character with what same name as the ancient statesman who led Athens in its golden age? Answer is?
No answer.
Pericles. All right, Walter Johnson, 380 points. George Marshall, you're up. Richard Montgomery, packet 1 or packet 2?
Let's give them packet 1.
You got it, packet number 1. The Kingdom of Bhutan is usually a peaceful place, although its flag depicts what fire-breathing monster?
Dragon.
Yeah. When the Pentagon was completed, it was noted that it had 3 times the office space as what New York skyscraper climbed by King Kong in the 1933 movie?
The Empire State Building?
That's right. In 1938, the Earth came within 3 million miles of colliding with an asteroid named for what Greek messenger god, the counterpart to the Roman Mercury?
Hermes.
Hermes is right. Here's your science question. Which of these refers to a spherical haze beyond Pluto containing as many as 10 trillion comets?
The Oort cloud?
You are right. It's the Oort cloud. The biblical land of Goshen gave its name to the Pennsylvania town of Goshen, the birthplace of what man who built the Claremont steamboat?
Fulton?
Fulton is right. Only 3 years after he won the Nobel Literature Prize, an auto accident took the life of what French-Algerian author of The Plague and the Stranger? Answer? It's Camus. Here's your math question. Reduce this fraction to lowest terms, giving your answer as a positive integer.
2.
2 is right. The first U.S. official to lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda was what 19th century statesman known as the Great Compromiser who had represented Kentucky in Congress?
Henry Clay?
Henry Clay is right. Nice, George Marshall. 410 points. And that leaves us with packet number 2 for Richard Montgomery. Winds reaching speeds of 2 million miles an hour blow across the face of what celestial body 93 million miles from Earth?
The moon?
No, it's the sun. Even the fastest racehorses could not compete with what mythical horse whose wings enabled him to fly?
Pegasus?
Yeah. In 2001, paleontologists were delighted to find the bones of a huge dinosaur in the desert near what capital city of Egypt?
Cairo?
Yes. Here's your science question. Which of these terms refers to having a single set of chromosomes in each cell?
This one. Yeah. Haploid?
That's right. Rasputin gained influence with the Tsar's family because they thought he could control what hereditary bleeding disorder that afflicted the Russian crown prince?
Hemophilia?
Correct. The Arabic word meaning quatrains gave us the title of what long Omar Khayyam poem translated into English by Edward Fitzgerald?
Rubaiyat?
Yes. Here's your math question. What is the value of this expression, giving your answer as a positive integer?
5.
Yeah. Before he started using his grandmother's maiden name, Oliver Williams was the name used by what Puritan Lord Protector of England?
Cromwell.
Cromwell is right. Nice, Richard Montgomery. 410 points. That does it for the packet round. Anything can happen in the grab bag round, and that is next.
Hello, I'm David Rubenstein. Did you know in 1887, at the request of Queen Victoria, Buffalo Bill Cody staged a special performance of his Wild West show just for her? It involved 200 performers and 180 horses, and she loved it. I'm David Rubenstein, reminding you to read, learn, get involved, and make a difference.
It's time for the grab bag round. And I always say anything can happen, and anything really can happen, particularly in a game as close as this one. These are all really good teams. Let's recap the scores. Walter Johnson, 380 points. George Marshall, 410 points. Richard Montgomery, 410 points. Getting some love from the crowd downstairs. That's nice. Now, in the grab bag round, as everybody knows, questions are worth 20 points up or down. Here we go. E is the most frequently used letter in English, but the most frequently used letter to begin a word is what other letter that initials the capital of California? Johnson.
S.
S is right for Sacramento. If you log onto your computer, you can read about the 1794 Battle of Fallen Timbers that was won by what American general known as Montgomery?
Mad Anthony Wayne.
Yeah, you've got it. One 19th century man with lots of know-how was Elias Howe, who invented what machine later manufactured by the singer, Marshall? Answer?
Cotton gin?
No, sewing machine. Largely inaccessible. Canyonlands National Park is in what western state where the Transcontinental Railroad was completed, Montgomery?
Utah.
You are right. Toni Morrison explored the life of a former slave in what Pulitzer Prize winning Marshall?
Beloved?
Correct. What is the x-intercept for the graph y equals 2x minus 10? Marshall?
-10.
No, it's 5. The date may vary, but Election Day is always on what particular weekday in Montgomery?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, always. To stop the flow of music would be like stopping time itself. These are the words of what 20th century American composer who added to the flow of music with his work, Appalachian Spring, Montgomery.
Copeland.
Yeah. Written history began about 2,400 years ago when an account of the Persian invasion of Greece was written by what Greek called Montgomery?
Herodotus.
You are right, the father of history. Choice. Occasionally, a child is born with a vestigial tail or rudimentary gill slits. Such remnants are known as atavisms, antecedents, or evolutions. Montgomery.
Atavisms.
Yeah, nice. In 1602, Londoners saw the premiere of what Shakespeare comedy whose two-word title ends with the word night? Montgomery, Twelfth Night, yeah. Halloween, October 31st, was the birthday of what English romantic poet who wrote Ode on a Grecian Urn?
Keats.
Hansen, yeah, very nicely done. Son of a champion is the meaning of the surname of what great British admiral, the victor at Trafalgar, Montgomery?
Nelson.
Nelson, Horatio Nelson, yes. In 1901, what Italian engineer demonstrated that the wireless telegraph he'd invented could send signals across the Atlantic? Marshall.
Morse.
No, Marconi. Both opposing generals died in the 1759 Quebec battle fought on the plains, Montgomery.
Plains of Abraham.
Plains of Abraham is correct. A nasty disease spread by deer ticks is named for what? Mont Johnson?
Lyme.
Lyme disease is right. Event tickets can be expensive, but attendance was free for ancient Romans at what circus? Johnson.
Amphitheater?
Pardon me? No, the Circus Maximus is what we were looking for. Author John Dos Passos compared his literary technique to what cylindrical toy in which light is seen through shifting patterns of colored glass? Montgomery.
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, kaleidoscope. Very nice. And that does it. It's the end of the game. Stick around. We're going to look at these scores and give you the results in just a second. So.
I'm David Rubenstein, and I believe giving back is something we all can do. Many students are getting involved in their communities in important ways. I've asked them to share with us how they're making a difference.
My name is Shrey Desai, and I'm a junior at Marshall High School. I work with an organization that promotes STEM education to socially and economically underprivileged children. I do this by tutoring these children, mostly elementary school and middle school age kids, in areas ranging all the way from basic homework help to areas such as coding in languages such as Python and Java. I do this because growing up, having a strong support system really enabled me to pursue my passions in areas such as coding and math. And I want kids who maybe don't have that support system in their home or at school to be able to pursue their passions as well.
Like these students, you too can help improve the lives of so many people by volunteering in your town and community. Please read, learn, get involved, and make a difference.
All right, so we said anything could happen in the grab bag round, and anything did happen. These scores were really close going in. They are not so close going out. But let's do these scores for all of these fine teams, and they are all fine teams. We begin with George Marshall High School from Falls Church, Virginia. Henry Rohan Shrey, 370 points. From Bethesda, Maryland, Walter Johnson High School, Lucas, Grace, and Wren, 420 points. Nice job, teams. And totally blowing it up during the grab bag. Richard Montgomery from Rockville, Maryland. Rachel, Josh, Michelle, 610 points. Way to bring it, guys. Yeah, that's the way you play a game. We will be right back.
Support for It's Academic has been provided by the following. MITRE, a not-for-profit research and development company working in the public interest.
What happens when the right people connect? Diversity challenges convention, mentors inspire greatness, and passions drive innovation. From health to transportation and national security, cyber and AI, to space and back, MITRE connects the power of government, academia, and industry to meet our nation's challenges. Together, MITRE connects.
Once again, I just want to say how good all of these students are at what they know and what they do, and we are so happy that all of you guys were with us. It was a really good competition. And I didn't say you guys are coming back for the playoff. No, the semifinals. So I'll see you again in the near future. That's it for us. I'm Hillary Howard. Thanks for joining us here on It's Academic. Help me say goodbye, everybody. Bye.